Bonjour à tous, bienvenue donc sur le séminaire Stelio Contron donc concernant les modules OSM. Donc ce séminaire sera en partie en anglais et en partie en français. Je vais démarrer la première partie en français qui est une présentation rapide de la société Stelio, que vous compreniez effectivement qui nous sommes et ce que nous faisons. Et puis ensuite, je laisserai la main à Martin Schiller, qui est responsable de la ligne produit OSM chez Contron. Donc bienvenue à tous. Donc le positionnement de Stelio, donc nous sommes un distributeur à valeur ajoutée, on va dire un solution provider. Et donc, notre offre est multiple, hein, puisqu'on se démarque effectivement des distributeurs, standards avec une offre à valeur ajoutée qui est complète, hein, dans différents produits, du marché, de l'intégration d'électronique. Pour ce faire, donc nous disposons d'une offre complète que je vais vous présenter très rapidement. Et puis donc nous avons une équipe d'ingénieurs et de techniciens qui sont experts dans ces technologies pour vous aider effectivement à architecturer votre produit et à le mettre, effectivement sur le marché. Donc pour ce faire, on va vous proposer, de l'aide au design, hein, puisqu'il s'agit vraiment de design, hein. On se considère effectivement comme une société de design, donc on va vous aider sur la partie logiciel et matériel à, effectivement constituer votre produit, répondre à vos attentes, constituer votre produit, maqueter et puis, réaliser et mettre sur le marché votre produit. Donc ça intègre effectivement, toute la partie, prototypage bien évidemment et puis toute la partie, fine tuning et customisation des produits pour arriver, au résultat attendu. Donc notre positionnement, c'est de faire une conception et l'assemblage de sous-ensembles. Donc nous ne réalisons pas, de système complet. Notre objectif, c'est de vous proposer des sous-ensembles qui vont eux-mêmes rentrer effectivement dans vos systèmes et dans vos solutions. Hein, donc ça peut se présenter de différentes manières, hein. On va aller effectivement du composant jusqu'au sous-ensemble pour, participer avec vous, à vos réalisations. Et puis bien évidemment, ça inclut, une partie de gestion de stock et d'approvisionnement. Donc à savoir que les produits viennent de différents continents, hein, de l'Asie bien évidemment, mais de l'Europe et parfois également des USA. Donc la couverture de l'offre, eh bah, elle est multiple, hein, puisqu'on va, intervenir sur différents, produits qui vont constituer un système moderne d'information. Donc de la partie affichage qui est un monde qui est effectivement très riche aujourd'hui, la partie, tactile, des IHM avec, parfois des claviers à coupelle, des choses de ce type-là. On va se concentrer bien évidemment aujourd'hui sur la partie système embarqué, hein. Donc moi je suis Patrick Besworth, responsable produit, sur la ligne, produits embarqués. Et puis il va y avoir également des sous-ensembles, mécaniques, hein, qu'on va pouvoir proposer. Bien évidemment de la puissance et de la conversion d'énergie, hein, on va être à même d'alimenter tous ces produits. De la partie thermique, tout système va dissiper de l'énergie et donc il va falloir effectivement être à même de dissiper cette énergie pour que le fonctionnement des différents composants soit optimum. De la CEM, hein, bien évidemment, c'est un problème, qui est très important dans la réalisation des systèmes. La connectique et des câbles, parfois des composantes de puissance, par exemple sur les chargeurs, de véhicules. De la connectivité et de l'IoT, hein. Bien évidemment, maintenant, les systèmes sont tous, communicants, donc on a besoin de communiquer, que ça soit en filaire, en wireless, en Wi-Fi, en Bluetooth ou quoi qu'est-ce. Donc il faut, disposer d'une panoplie de moyens de communication. Et puis on peut être présent également sur des parties audiovisuelles. Donc toutes ces effectivement, solutions correspondent chez nous à des business units avec des experts et on va être à même d'intervenir sur ces différents sujets pour vous aider à réaliser votre produit et bien évidemment, on va se consacrer, comme je le disais, sur la partie somme et système embarqué aujourd'hui. Donc, quelques mots sur notre organisation. Donc, Stelio, est une société, française qui s'est développée en Europe et en Asie, je dirais avec différents pays aujourd'hui. La France, donc qui était le je dirais la naissance de la société Stelio, puis des développements en Italie, en Espagne et au Benelux, hein, plus récemment. Des équipes en Asie, puisqu'il faut, être à même de gérer, nos partenaires de fabrication, par exemple mécanique. Et puis il faut être à même, de suivre d'un point de vue qualité, les approvisionnements, provenant d'Asie. Donc on a effectivement des personnels, dans ces, pays, d'Asie pour réaliser ces examens et puis ces fabrications mécaniques. Et puis différents lieux de stockage en France, hein, et à Shenzhen, pour accompagner effectivement et gérer la chaîne logistique. Donc sachant qu'en France, donc nos localisations sont principalement en région parisienne, donc on va, d'ailleurs, courant de l'été, prendre possession de nos nouveaux locaux qui vont se trouver, près de Rungis, pour merger les 2 sites qui sont actuellement Fresnes et Montrouge. Et puis, on a également des présences locales, hein, sous la forme de bureaux commerciaux, je dirais dans différents sites, en France, dans les villes principales comme Lyon, Nantes, et Bordeaux. Donc ça, c'est notre footprint. Les applications, bon, elles sont multiples, hein. Je dirais la technologie embarquée, on va la retrouver vraiment, maintenant dans différentes, applications qui ont toutes, effectivement, leurs verticaux, hein, qui vont correspondre, souvent à des normalisations un peu particulières. Mais, dans les faits, je dirais le cœur, embarqué, il va être, souvent identique. Donc on va être à même avec ces produits d'adresser de multiples applications, hein, que ça soit dans le monde, médical, que ça soit dans le ferroviaire, que ça soit, dans l'automobile ou dans l'industrie, hein. Donc effectivement, bon, le monde des processeurs est un monde qui se décline, dans différents secteurs d'activité et ce qui va changer, c'est, effectivement le tenu aux normes et parfois, on peut être à même aussi de faire, par exemple, du coating ou des choses un peu spécifiques qui nous sont, demandées dans certains secteurs d'activité. Donc tout ça, effectivement, on le maîtrise et donc, aujourd'hui, on est capable de répondre dans plusieurs, domaines d'activité, plusieurs marchés verticaux. Alors là, aujourd'hui, je dirais, dans le monde du somme, bien évidemment, hein, il y a des produits qui sont existants, hein. Il y a beaucoup de types de produits et beaucoup de formes facteurs, qui sont existants, hein, donc là, effectivement, il y a des volumes assez importants qui sont échangés aujourd'hui dans le domaine du somme. Les solder-on modules, donc qui sont les modules soudés, donc sont déjà utilisés, dans beaucoup d'applications, hein, de par l'intérêt qu'ils amènent, d'être compacts et d'être soudés, donc de s'affranchir effectivement des connecteurs et des difficultés que ça peut amener, vis-à-vis de ces connecteurs. Donc des produits comme ça, il y en a déjà, sur le marché. On en voit effectivement 2, de la société Kontron sur ce slide, hein, un module qui est un IMX6, qui fait, 25 par 25, hein, donc qui est extrêmement compact. C'est un IMX6, monocœur. Et puis on a plus récemment, des exemples en IMX8 avec des, modules qui font 30 par 30 et qui sont, type, LGA, hein, donc également à souder, sur, votre PCB. Donc ça, c'est des choses qui existent déjà, et qui sont en production depuis des années. Donc il y a une maîtrise aujourd'hui de ces produits-là qui est très bonne, hein, et je dirais, voilà, donc cette technologie, elle est effectivement, présente sur le marché et elle est maîtrisée notamment par Kontron, je dirais avec des produits existants. Donc, aujourd'hui le séminaire, je dirais est plus pour introduire, des nouveautés par rapport à ces produits existants, sur la base, du standard OSM. Donc après les pénuries qu'on a connues en 2022, je dirais, au niveau des composants, hein, et notamment, sur la partie processeur ARM avec NXP, les délais se sont rallongés et effectivement ça a été une problématique, conséquente pour beaucoup d'industries, d'arriver à approvisionner, ces processeurs. Et donc de cette période, en fait, est né, je dirais le standard OSM, hein, qui, comme son nom l'indique, est un standard ouvert qui va permettre, effectivement d'amener, des possibilités multisources sur un design, hein. Donc, ça sera repris, dans le séminaire à plusieurs reprises, ultérieurement. Mais je dirais effectivement, l'OSM, bon, le premier critère qu'il faut garder à l'esprit, c'est que c'est un standard ouvert et il va vous permettre d'intégrer différentes solutions sur ces empreintes. Ce qui n'était pas le cas des produits que j'ai présentés, tout d'abord, qui étaient, des solutions, propriétaires. Donc en fait, on a, donc principalement les produits de chez NXP, hein, donc on va retrouver sur ces modules, bah, effectivement le SoC, hein, donc processeur. Alors aujourd'hui, on parle beaucoup effectivement de l'IMX9 et puis on va retrouver les fonctionnalités CPU, je dirais qui sont dans la périphérie immédiate du processeur, c'est-à-dire, la mémoire, la gestion d'alimentation avec le PMIC et puis, le stockage de code, eMMC, hein, sachant qu'on est à minimum, obligé de stocker le bootloader, dans de la flash en local sur le processeur. Et donc on a un standard donc qui s'appelle, l'Open Standard Module qui permet effectivement de rationaliser, les designs en définissant des éléments, qui vont permettre de travailler sur différents modules, donc différents, form facteurs, différents types de modules et en provenance de différentes sources. Donc c'est le gros intérêt de cette norme OSM, hein. On reviendra dessus pendant le séminaire. Et donc voilà comment va se positionner effectivement le module. Donc il va venir se souder sur votre carte applicative, hein. Donc il y a nécessité, effectivement de designer une SBC, hein. Donc là, on a pris une SBC, je dirais assez simple, mais bon, ça peut être effectivement une application plus complexe. On va retrouver des entrées-sorties analogiques, digitales, ainsi de suite, possiblement, également des FPGA ou quoi ou qu'est-ce, hein. Vraiment derrière, c'est vraiment votre applicatif et votre besoin qui va être présent sur la carte d'accueil. Et donc on va utiliser, je dirais au cœur de cette, application, un module OSM qui va être soudé sur la carte. Et de cette électronique, effectivement, derrière, on va, réaliser un produit, je dirais qui est propre à une application avec ses entrées-sorties. Donc l'intérêt, un des intérêts de l'OSM, c'est effectivement, bah, déjà de proposer des empreintes qui vont être normalisées, hein. Donc on le voit sur la partie, en haut à droite de la slide. Donc il y a différentes tailles qui sont normalisées et on va pouvoir équiper, je dirais, en fonction de son besoin et choisir réellement son empreinte, et donc choisir son module. Sachant que, il est possible, par exemple, de travailler sur une empreinte qui est une size M et de la, entre guillemets, «utiliser» avec un module qui va être en size S, hein. Donc effectivement, on équipe ensuite, sur la base de l'empreinte qu'on a réalisée, avec le module qui correspond à notre application. Donc l'intérêt, c'est d'être scalable, hein, de permettre, vraiment de s'adapter aux besoins du produit, hein. S'il y a des gammes de produits, c'est très intéressant pour, démarrer, je dirais avec un produit qui va être plutôt en tas de gamme et puis monter effectivement jusqu'au produit qui va offrir, les performances les plus importantes. Donc par exemple sur le size, 0, hein, l'OSM size 0, on va plutôt trouver des applications qui sont typées, microcontrôleurs et évidemment sur les sizes les plus importantes, on va aller sur de la performance avec des processeurs, plus performants. Donc les intérêts du module OSM, donc c'est la scalabilité, hein, comme je le disais, la possibilité de plateformer assez facilement. Le coût et la supply chain puisque en fait, bon, bah, ces modules, on voit que c'est une standardisation du module, hein, donc il va y avoir des volumes, et il y a déjà d'ailleurs des volumes qui sont importants, qui sont échangés, et donc ça a un impact effectivement sur le coût. La caractéristique de multisource, elle est très intéressante également puisque l'empreinte vous permet, de faire du multisourcing sur le module, hein, la norme permet d'installer le module de son choix pourvu qu'il soit, je dirais conforme au standard. Et puis élément également très important, le time to design donc je dirais le module, ça c'est amené effectivement par le module, c'est qu'aujourd'hui le module il est déverminé. Il va arriver avec son logiciel, je dirais, préchargé et donc bah, je dirais là, c'est cette carte en fait, cette pseudo carte, elle va s'installer, par soudage comme un composant standard et donc directement derrière vous aurez, le démarrage de votre produit avec son logiciel préchargé. Donc c'est d'un grand intérêt puisque au final, on va éviter, notamment dans les phases de fabrication, bah, de passer sur, par exemple, des installations de cartes. Si on a fait le choix de la technologie SMARC, on va avoir une étape d'insertion de la carte SMARC dans un connecteur, dans le process OSM, en fait, on va passer ce module OSM comme un composant standard dans la machine de placement de composants. Donc c'est la fin de ma présentation. Donc la présentation sera bien évidemment suivie d'un Q&A, hein. Vous pourrez nous poser vos questions en live. Et donc je vais passer la main à Martin Schiller de la société Kontron. Martin, it's your turn.
The stage is mine.
Yes, right.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Thank you for the great introduction about Steleo and OSM. Hello from my side. Let me share my screen. I will go to a little bit into more details. I hope it's not too much and not too boring. Let me start with the one important thing. Maybe you know Kontron, but maybe you don't know Kontron. Who we are. We are at Kontron. We are a global leader of smart industrial IoT solutions. All over, we are more than 4,000 people with a revenue around 1.2 billion euros. After the latest acquisition earlier this year, we are in total more than 6,000 employees with a revenue of almost 2 billion euros. So we are growing. We are the biggest, by far biggest European company who is in this embedded industry. We are a member of the SDAX and TechDAX. But beside the headquarters we are listed in Germany. All over Kontron is an Austrian company. Our headquarters is in Austria, and it's very, very similar to my situation. I work for the Germans, but I'm born in Austria. I'm Austrian, and I'm not happy with the last football results. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it makes my day-to-day easier because France made a good game and have some points, and I'm really happy about it. I hope Austria will do better today in the evening against our Polish friends. Who are we at Kontron Electronics? Kontron is a group of companies, and Kontron Electronics is a part of it. We are located in Frickenhausen, which is in the Stuttgart region, so in Baden-Württemberg. On one hand, we have our hardware and software development as well as the test and approval department in our house in Frickenhausen, but we also have 2 assembly lines in Hungary. So we run our own assembly factories, and we are focused on ARM and microcontrollers. We have customers who have a very high volume with just 1 or 2 products, but we also have customers with lower volume, but with many, many different products. So we are your partner for everything if you talk about EMS and ODM. And of course, we have some amazing products. Just a very short overview what we have. Everything we do in standard products is based on such called SOM. SOM is a system on module. Patrick already introduced you our OSM lines. Yeah, OSM is a standard, and based on the SOMs we have a board line. The board line is a single board computer, and this single board computer can be used in different ways. You can either use it just as a development platform for the SOM, and then you create your own baseboard, or you use it as a single board computer as it is, as a standard product, or you ask us to make some adaptations to this board line to fit it better into your application. So whatever you need from our side with the board line, we are here. And as you can see, all our boards look very, very, very similar. So we always like this family approach to make things similar, to reuse parts. You're not inventing the wheel very, very often. It's enough if you invent the wheel once and then you reuse it. And therefore we have an automation line. So it's the board line packed into a stainless steel housing. And you have this, we have this for all our platforms. And for some projects, we also have displays starting from 5-inch, 7-inch or 10-inch. And even for some of our customs, we have different sizes. Just let us know how we can help you. Another big topic in our house is Raspberry Pi. We are Raspberry Pi certified design partner. We are the only European certified design partner who has their own production. So Here is the concept is very, very similar. We use a system on module, in this case, the Raspberry Pi Compute module. This is what we buy, but our value then is creating a board line, an automation line, and display line based on this Raspberry Pi Compute module. There are some customers or many customers who are interested in this one. Everybody who made their proof of concept based on Raspberry Pi single board computer and thinking about having a more industrial solution is happy with our Python. And if you have any demand, please come back to Patrick and me. We will find a solution also for your application. But now back to the topic, open standard models. At Kontron, we always loved modules. From a very, very early stage, we had modules, and we invented some, or we drove some of the most successful standards over the last years. Everything started with the very successful ETX. Nowadays, we have the ComExpress, which is the most successful and most known standard if we talk about computer and modules. But also SMARC and Q7 are very, very successful, and we are driving these standards. And the latest one, you see it by far on the right side, is ComHPC. It's a very high-end solution for client and servers, but we also drive the smaller one, like the OSM standard. We at Kontron, we are founding member of the OSM standard. We drive the standard. We are the editor of the specification, and we love the standard. We think standards are good for everybody. It's good for our customers because they can reuse technology. They can decide always if it's better to going with using this technology or the other one. So standard keeps many, many doors open for everybody, and it helps us growing the business. What is OSM standard? For me, OSM standard is the future, and even it's a very new standard, it's already a global and a very successful standard. But compared to all the ones you saw before, like ComExpress, SMARC, or Q7, it's the only solderable standard. So this means we save some money with expensive pin edge connectors. We also save money with expensive contact material. And the big benefit is you can use the OSM module directly from your SMT line. So it's not necessary someone unpacks the module, puts it on the carrier board, maybe has to fix some screws. It can be directly used like any other component. And the component is already pre-installed or pre-tested, and everything can be done very automatically. And this is a big, big benefit if we talk about high volume. It's a standard Patrick already introduced to in 4 different sizes. Size 0 is more or less for microcontrollers. But you see some of our competitors are using size M, size S, size L, different ones, but mainly they focus on ARM. Why are we all using ARM? Because with ARM you have a real second source. A second source doesn't mean you have the same CPU available from 2 different companies or manufacturing partners. A second source means I have 2 different silicon CPUs available from different companies. Like we are focusing on NXP CPUs. Some of our competitors are doing business with Rockchip, are doing business with TI. And if the pinout, the OSM pinout, is something like an interpreter between the CPU technology to standard IT signals. So you can remove one OSM module and replace it by something else, and you don't have to touch your carrier board, or at least maybe in some cases you have to do some minor changes, but the changes are compared to a full custom design almost 0. What's important as well for OSM, it's a rugged standard, and usually it's a low-cost standard because of the CPUs used, because of all the automatical production, and without the connector, which also costs some money. What are we focusing at Kontron? We have an OSM-S family. What does it mean? Every module we're doing has the same form factor. So here you have the full benefit of replacing one module by the other without touching your existing carrier board. These, of course, there are some differences in the IOs, but the main signals are the same, and the pinout is also the same. And you can see we have here solutions from single core going up to quad core. We have also versions with an NPU, an AI coprocessor, which is, I think, very, very popular for upcoming applications. We have solutions with display and without display, as well as with and without camera interfaces. And what's cool, and we just keep in mind, we still talk about 30 by 30 millimeters. We have solutions supporting 2 LAN interfaces, gigabit Ethernet interfaces, and supporting as well as 2 CAN interfaces. And usually Linux is running at less than 1 watt or around 1 watt. And when using all the power saving modes, it can be much less. We decided to use as an operating or as a board support package, we use Yocto. All our OSM modules are designed, developed, and made in Germany. So if your customer has the request not having the production done in China, here we are, made in Germany. And if you want to visit us, if you have an audit, or if you want to have a customer visit, or if we should visit you together with our friends from Steleo, just let me know. We are here. From the portfolio, IMX8M Mini is ready to ship. So if you send an order for the development kit to Patrick, we can ship immediately. We have it on stock. The upcoming generation IMX8M Plus will be ready in a few weeks. We are ready to ship samples and evaluation ports by week 33 this year. And the latest one, we launched it at Embedded World 2024, IMX93. The lower performance version will be available in week 40. This means around October. Why are we talking about a family? Because they have many similar things, but they all are slightly different. It's like in a family. You see here a short comparison about our actual and upcoming solutions. And you see everything which is dark blue. I hope you can see it on your screen. Everything which is dark blue is identical to the other interfaces. Everything which is light blue is very, very similar. So if you create a carrier board by yourself using USB, using 4 UARTs, using I2C, SPI, some GPIO, some WBM, some audio interface, and maybe you just need 1 gigabit Ethernet board and 1 CSI interface for the camera, you can you can use all 3 modules without touching anything from your hardware. That's really cool, and we like this approach because it gives you the possibility to switch from one generation or from one performance class to the other without touching your hardware design. But it also gives you the possibility, if you have more designs, then you can reuse the technology. Some of our competitors are jumping between the sizes, and of course, it's possible to carrier supporting more sizes of OSM, but it's hard, it takes more space, and we don't think it's necessary. Just focus on the core, just focus on the common interfaces, and everything we can do is on 30 by 30 millimeters. Some amazing facts about our high performance IMX8M Plus CPU. And I'm really proud that we are the only one within the whole industry to make the IMX8M Plus available on 30 by 30 millimeters, to make it available with 2 Ethernet ports, make it available with CAN, with LVDS, with HDMI. So we really made the most out of the very limited space of OSM size S. How does it work? We are using a 12-layer PCB. And using a 12-layer PCB at the OSM means a lot of complexity is inside the OSM module, which makes your carrier board easier, not that much complex. So maybe you can do it with 6-layer carrier board or 8-layer carrier board, which is by far cheaper than you go on a big size carrier board with 10 or 12 layers. So at the end of the day with the OSM, you will save some costs. But within these 12 layers, we have 2000 wires in between from one layer to the other layer. We have 1,700 pads, internal and external. It's just 378 components on our OSM module. So it's a very, very small space, 378 components. It's also challenging during production, but for you is the benefit. You know exactly how much space you need for your RAM, CPU, for your power management, because it's fixed with 30 by 30 millimeters. Internally, we have a total wire length of around 8 meters. So you just can imagine that the size is 30 by 30 millimeters, but internally we have a total wire length of 8 meters. So we are going very often from one point to the other point, up, down, and all the ways. Yeah. So in total, 8 meters wire length. And the OSM standard has many, many different functions. And usually many functions are not used because of the CPU limitations. Yeah. But with IMX 8M Plus, we managed it to use 240 of the existing 332 pins of the OSM form factor. And you see it, we are using green PCBs, but if we would change it to another color, blue, red, or whatever, yeah, you will not see a lot of the PCB because 77% of the complete area is covered by components. Let's have a look into our roadmap. And you see from the very top here, we think about going into the more performance class. Yeah? It's a Hexacore IMX 95. This is something we are investigating if it makes sense. And you also see with this CPU, it's a high class CPU, it will not be possible to go with size S. Yeah? So very probably with the high-end CPU, we need to go to IMX 95. It's because of the space requirements from the CPU, but it's also because of the area you need to for heat dissipation. For all medium and low power applications, you see it. Oops, sorry, IMX 8M Plus and Mini and the IMX 93. Yeah, we go at size S. Yeah? And you also see we're planning, yeah, to have an IMX 91, which is a single core version, which is low performance, low costs. So we are also focusing not just to make more powerful modules, we also have in our mind that we need some less powerful modules. You see from availability, all our OSM products are somewhere available between 2034 if it's IMX 8 or 2037 if it's IMX 9. So a lot of time to realize your projects, yeah, to make your customers happy. So it's still a long time to go. You can use our projects. And you see at the bottom line, you see our SOM line. This is where everything started. Our first and up to now highest volume running module is still IMX 6 ULL. It's a single core A7, and we expect the end of life in 7 years. Yeah? So even we have it now in our product portfolio for more than 6 years. Yeah? We will have it 7 more years. We have an STM32MP1 and we have an SL IMX 8M Mini. But you also see everything we do is available for at least 10 years. So this is what we always make sure that if you invest in a carrier board and if you invest in our modules, we take sure we take care that you can use it for a long time. We also do some applications based on our on our OSM modules, and right now we are doing a translation board from OSM to SMARC. SMARC is still a very, very successful form factor in our industry. It's very popular and many customers are using it. Yeah? But at SMARC, we see more and more high performance demand. And that's the reason why we, with our latest development on SMARC, we are focusing on more performance here. But we also see a demand for low performance SMARC modules. And here we just use our OSM module. We make a translation carrier. We put it on our SMARC. Yeah. It's the reuse of technology without inventing the wheel again, yeah, because we always know how it works with IMX 810 Plus. Yeah. And this just extends our OSM portfolio. What else are we offering? We are offering single board computers, yes, based on our system on modules. We're offering our automation line. We are offering our display line, so everything we have can be done with housing and with display, and it's a good base for MOS. MOS is modified standard, so we take what we have and we just change some parts to make it your application, or at ODM, where we do a full custom development for your application. Up to now, you saw many things about hardware, but hardware is just it's just a PCB with some black box there, without software, and we see more and more need from our customer side going into software. This has several reasons. Like it is with a SOM. A SOM is an outsourcing process, so everything customers could do it or were doing it in the past, the full custom design. Now they want to have a benefit of faster updates, yeah, and so they're using in SOM. Yeah. So this is a hardware outsourcing, but we also see the demand from software. And the base need is somehow related to security. There is a NIS2 coming in the European Union. There's the Cybersecurity Resilience Act coming in the future, and many customers don't have the capacity to take care on this, or they just want to be sure and they need a good partner and a reliable partner for this. And this means we at Kontron are now moving from a hardware-only company to a hardware and software company. And our first step, or the most basic step we are offering here, is our so-called Kontron OS. It's a secure operating system, for your devices, and it supports secure boot, yeah, and it's we have a bootloader there, and the main feature is it's updatable either on site or over the air, which means offline and online, yeah. And we have two redundant Yocto Linux partitions. So one is running while one partition is still active and the operating system and everything is running. We update the second one with the next restart or with a forced reboot. We change the active and the passive application. If everything runs fine, then we stay at this new active partition. If there is a problem, we go back to the original partition where we know it works, yeah, and the system is on. Kontron OS, there is a basic product available, but at the end of the day, as we talk about keys, about licensing and everything, at the end of the day, it's not a product, it will be a project. We have some product examples available. We have two x86 based one based on our KBox A151 as well as our KBox 250, yeah. And for our IMX 8M mini product, we have the automation line ready to start your evaluation with Kontron OS, to get in contact with our security guys, yeah. And if there is more need, and I think there will be some questions even now or later, I'm happy to answer and help you together with Patrick and our colleague from Susitech, who are the developer of Kontron OS. For you, just let us know if there is more demand or more questions, and we will come back to you with personal meetings and see how we can cooperate together. From my side, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm sorry I don't speak French, but I know Patrick already made a great introduction about OSM. I hope you caught the more details from my presentations. We are still here to answer your questions, even now or later in a personal meeting. Just let us know. And thank you very much for your time. And now I hand over back to Patrick.
Merci à tous pour votre attention. Donc, nous avons terminé la partie présentation. Ce que je vous propose, c'est effectivement de poser vos questions. Donc, vous pouvez le faire soit en français, soit en anglais, et puis effectivement, on vous apportera les réponses souhaitées. So, Q&A is in French or English, Martin?
Perfect. If it's French, you ask, you are there. If it's English, I can help you. No
That's
problem.
right. N'hésitez pas effectivement à poser vos questions. Bon, le standard est en plein développement actuellement. Donc voilà, 2024 est une année importante pour l'OSM. C'est la raison de ce séminaire, vous présenter effectivement toutes ces nouveautés. Et donc avec l'arrivée de l'IMX9, ça va s'intensifier encore plus. Et donc on pense que 2025 sera vraiment une année où ça va beaucoup se développer. J'ai vu passer une question, me semble-t-il.
There is something in the chat. How
Yes.
many is low cost? Does an OSM module exist with IMX6 module? Is there compatibility comparison? So the major answer is no, we don't have OSM with IMX6. Why? At the time OSM was introduced, IMX6 was already well established in the market and let's say major. And there was the modern technology with IMX8 Mini available, and we are focused on this. You get much more performance at the same price, and therefore we decided to go with IMX8 Mini, IMX8 Plus, and in the future with IMX93.
Merci pour cette question. Donc, si effectivement vous avez des applications en IMX6, donc comme l'a expliqué effectivement Martine, on a encore quelques années devant nous pour proposer le module standard en 25 par 25, qui est vraiment intéressant et très très bien placé en termes de coût. N'hésitez pas à profiter de ce webinaire pour poser vos questions. Pour certains, effectivement, la technologie OSM est déjà peut-être connue, pour d'autres, c'est nouveau. Donc, n'hésitez pas à poser effectivement vos questions sur les différentes tailles, par exemple, ou sur les processeurs qui peuvent être supportés, ainsi de suite. Donc, pour donner également quelques informations complémentaires, donc Martine a indiqué que les modules étaient fabriqués en Allemagne. Donc c'est effectivement le cas. Hein, je dirais donc il y a des solutions de fabrication et de test. Hein, la partie test est bien évidemment importante. Donc Kontron dispose de lignes avec une fabrication qui est automatisée et des postes de préchargement et de test qui sont également automatisés pour effectivement pouvoir produire d'une manière qualitative un grand nombre de modules, hein, et c'est ce qui est targeté effectivement par OSM, puisque aujourd'hui on est, je dirais, sur des tailles de projets qui sont de plusieurs cas. Bon, bien évidemment, on n'a pas de limitation, hein, je dirais, au niveau des volumes, c'est-à-dire que voilà, des modules d'une centaine de pièces peuvent aussi être adressés. Là, c'est vraiment une question de choix au niveau de votre stratégie.
Patrick, there's one more question in the chat, yeah? It's related to OSM and how can we be sure, yeah, that modules are compliant with it in the future, yeah? That's a good question, yeah. And like every standard, also the OSM standard will it will be developed after time, yeah. So sooner or later there are more newer CPUs and more demands from customers, yeah. And maybe the pinout will change after a couple of months or years, or maybe new features are added. And if you take a look at the OSM standard, yeah, and I hope you see it right now on my screen, yeah, you see there is one fixed pinout at the OSM standard. It's here. Give me a second. Here you see the pinout, yeah. This is the OSM pinout, and within this pinout you still see some reserved pins, yeah, and you see some user-defined pins, and maybe later, yeah, some reserved pins will be used for a dedicated application, yeah, or some of the user-defined pins will use, or maybe some signals are not that important, or at the time we developed the standard, yeah, we had the idea this is important, but we find out after a couple of years it's not important anymore, yeah, then the standard might change. But this is something which happened also to ComExpress and to SMARC and everything, and everybody in the OSM group knows about these problems, yeah, or about the challenges we are facing, and we really take care. But if there is a change in the specification, there will be somehow like a migration part for you, and this explains you what was changed and what's the solution for you. But if you make a carrier for OSM 1.1 and you use a SOM module OSM 1.1, yeah, it's clear where everything is located, and also future modules developed with the OSM standard 1.1 will fit to this standard. Kontron OS is not a machine configuration with the Yocto layer. Kontron OS is a complete operating system based on Yocto, yeah. So we have our Yocto board support package. There is secure boot. There are some more security features. Then usually we provide a Docker environment, and customers are developing their applications within this Docker environment, yeah. And then you run everything in Docker. But it's not a standard product, yeah, because security is never standard. There are usually some needs, and if you create your own carrier board, yeah, you might have a need for additional driver or interfaces we don't have in our standard board support package. Then we have to adapt this, yeah. So it's but at the end of the day, it's Yocto based, but it's not just a layer. And we don't have an OSM with FPGA today. Within the SCAD group, there is now a new group which discusses about how to make FPGAs or embedded FPGAs as a standard like OSM. From our side at Kontron, we only put the base functionalities which are used from everybody on our SOM modules. And this is usually the power management, the RAM, CPU, flash, and the bootloader. And if we put anything else there, like what we sometimes get the need for Wi-Fi, for Bluetooth, for LTE, like you are asking now for FPGA, usually this works for one customer and it's a good solution for one customer, but only for one customer. All the others are not happy with the solution because they have a little bit different need, or they don't have any need. So it makes the product more expensive, yeah, just to give the benefit to one customer. But the idea of a standard is to make it available and cheap for as many customers as possible, and all the specialities are solved on the carrier board. And there are several ways how to connect the FPGA on a carrier board to our OSM module.
So I believe, Martin, in that case, the idea would be to put the FPGA maybe on the carrier board.
Yes.
Any other questions from your side, guys? I think it's this. Yeah, come on, Martin. Yeah.
There is in the OSM standard, you see over there, there's a COM area which can be used for antennas, like for Wi-Fi. There might be or there will be some suppliers offering OSM modules with Wi-Fi functionality. We don't use it, but because whatever we do here is wrong. If we put a module there for Europe, based on a China chipset, everybody in the US is not happy. If we put a Qualcomm chip there, everybody in China is not happy. If you use Wi-Fi standard AF there, the next customer needs AC or whatever. So whatever we do here is wrong. So, and it's very customer specific, and the costs are the same. If I put Wi-Fi on the OSM module or if I put Wi-Fi on the carrier, there is no difference in cost, and so there is no benefit for customers. And that's our point of view. Maybe there are different ones, but we just want to have on our modules solutions or interfaces which will be used from everybody.
And I think there is also an issue with longevity because the OSM module from Kontron comes with a longevity, a very long longevity. So I think the key motivation from Kontron is to be able to provide this longevity with the main part, processor, memory, SSD. So and that's why they focus on the core system. Yeah.
Thank you.
Five minutes less. Is there are additional questions? So I think we will close this session today. Don't hesitate to come back to us for additional discussion and for potential project management. We are here with Martin to help you to define some solution for your application. Don't hesitate to contact us. And I would like personally also to thank you for the participation today.
And Patrick, don't forget to mention we are on tour in September, Patrick.
Right, you're totally right. So we have additional marketing activity and presentation activity around the CIDO in Lyon. We will cover two additional regions, which is Angers and Toulouse, with additional information and physical presence. You'll be able to be in touch with the people and discuss about your project, solution, technology, and so on. So this is our DNA with Martin, and we are very happy to help you.
I'm glad to be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.